So there's sort of a lot of dual combat stuff going on in the new game. We rebuilt the combat system from the ground up. His base fight style is two-handed, so he will have, for example, a tomahawk and his hidden blade active in the base combat. But you also always have a tool equipped, which means you can do nice sort of combos between, close combat kills, fire off a pistol, and go back to close combat, which is cool not just in terms of fluidity, but also because if you remember the period, these are flintlock pistols, so they only have one shot. So if you sort of had to switch to a weapon, load it up, fire once, and then stand there for 30 seconds reloading it, this is less than ideal. So basically anyone you have targeted, like in the sort of central view frustum of the screen, if they're targeted and you tap Y, he'll shoot, but the sort of animations that play are designated by the system. So if you're facing the wrong way, but your camera's pointing back towards someone, then he'll shoot over his shoulder. If you're facing towards him, he'll shoot straight ahead. So you're in complete control, but we always make you look cool. Yeah, so it's an interesting question. Like you're the assassin, you're essentially a killing machine, and you have been in the entire series. And the new moves we've added for Connor is the ability to assassinate on the run with any weapon that he has, and to keep in motion. Once they switch to open combat, though, things like the running assassinate don't work anymore. So once they've seen you coming, you can't assassinate. You have to fight them. And we've shown a lot of base archetypes, sort of just simpler enemies. But as you saw in the demo, when you come across a stronger archetype and you use the wrong move on them, they will reject you and they will cause damage. Yeah, so clarity of navigation is a big challenge in an organic environment because it's in direct conflict with believability. So legibility and believability are sort of in contrast. A really nice organic forest isn't regular, whereas a nice play space is very regular. So what we had to say was basically you can go anywhere. So anything that you see that has a handhold that's climbable is climbable, and we really highlight the areas that you can't go. So we worked on that side, and then we also worked on the idea of sort of even within branches, there are some areas where you can only go straight, and then we'll make a very clear point of choice where you can divide to go back in different directions. So we pop the buttons at the moment. We're still talking. There's still some debates on that about whether when someone attacks you, we pop the button just to give you some feedback. But it's actually it's identical to the counter system for enemies. So there's a counter button, and if an animal charges you or an enemy swings a weapon at you, you can still counter them. And then in the new combat system, you have a window of opportunity where you can decide to then dodge them, throw them, kill them, or disarm them. So we have Boston and New York, which are sort of 1 to 3 scale recreations of 18th century American cities. And then we have the frontier, which is a big open space. And we wanted them to be very contrasty. We have a couple of others as well that we haven't announced yet, which are also different. We wanted you to feel like facing the crowd in the cities, and then we wanted you to feel sort of alone in the wilderness. So there's far less people, it's far more open. There's not so much streets as different terrain to encounter, but within that, there's all kinds of little towns. So it's not just forest. You'll come across, Lexington and Concord, which in this period were small camps. You'll come across, native villages. You'll come across sort of animal dens. So there's lots to discover in the frontier.